maintainable and optimized CSS? Does a small color change panic you? If yes, then this video is for you. Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Neha, and in today's video, I'm gonna share a tip on how to write maintainable and optimized CSS. And how we are gonna do it by learning CSS variables. If you doesn't know about CSS variables, then this video is definitely for you. Before CSS supported variables, the only way to have variables in CSS was Sass. And if you are using Sass only to have support of variables, then you can drop your Sass and have the native support of CSS. I'm gonna show you how to write the syntax of variables, how variables are gonna help you in writing the optimized and maintainable CSS, and why they are useful. And for that, I'm gonna use an example. Right now in front of you, I have a web page, and what we are gonna do is we are gonna get into the code of this. So right now, if you will see, we have CSS. This is a simple CSS we have written. Now, whenever you are looking at any CSS or writing a CSS, there are a few things you should be looking first. The first is the global properties like font family, font size, margin, padding, colors, primary, secondary, theme. These things you should be looking at first. And the second thing is you should be looking at the repetitive value. Now why? The base properties like font family, font size and all, you need to declare them at one place so that any developer which is coming in your project, they can only use those values rather than introducing new sizes, new font family, unless and until it is a requirement. All you want is just to make sure that developers are focusing on writing the code and all the global properties are only at one place and they can just reuse so that you can have a maintainable CSS. And the second thing is repetitive value. And this is very true with font size and color, that there are higher chances in CSS that the colors start having different values. For example, right now in front of you, I have a CSS hexa code for the pink color. A new developer will come and they might by accident introduce a new shade of color. And this is you don't want to do, because after some time you will have 4 different values of pink color. In such case, what you want to have is the consistency. So again, you want only one value and everyone should be following that. So I have given you 2 examples where you want to have the global values at one place and also to have the consistency, the values of such colors, font size and everything should be at one place. And how we can do it? By using CSS variables. Why we should do it? To have consistency and optimize the repetitive value. You don't want the developers to repeat the same things again and again. So let's see how to declare the CSS variables. So for that, always declare your variables on the top of your file so that you know that all the variables getting used in your applications are on the top of your CSS. And what we are going to do is we are going to declare it on the root. Why root? Because variables have 2 scope, local and global. When you declare it at the root level, these are the global scope. So your all variables will be accessible throughout your style sheet. Okay. For local, I will give you an example later. Now the first thing I want to do is declare my variable. The first variable which I want to declare is the global font family. And the syntax is -- font family. So you can write whatever you want to write instead of font family, but it is very important. The variable name should be very descriptive and self-explanatory. You don't want to do something like test ABC. Definitely you don't want to do this, because then the developer will keep guessing that what it is. So you can have font family Arial, for example. Now you want a font base size. So this is how you declare it. Now you want to use it. So what I will do is I will go to my body and I would say font family var, and when you are writing var, you will get this double rounded bracket. In that you need to mention your variable name. And now if you will go back, you can see your variable is getting implemented. Now if I want to do the shorthand property, I can do that also by using the variables. So I want font shorthand, where I'm passing the font size and the font family. Now if you will see the readability is font base size and font family is Arial. Now anyone who is coming to your code and they wanted to use Arial font, instead of doing this again and again Arial, all they need to do is just use the variable. Okay, so this is the use of CSS variables. What we have learned? We have learned global variables, the syntax, the name should be descriptive, self-explanatory, and how to use it. And also we learned that how to group the variables together. Now let's talk about the repeated values. So now if you will see this particular color, we have this color twice. I already gave you an example that there are higher chances that the developer will come, any developer will come, and they will end up having a different pink color. And this is what you don't want to do. So what you need to do is you need to have your color here. And now what you can do is you can just go and use this variable. And where we are using it? Here also. And similarly, if you will see, I have a lot of colors I'm using it here. Instead of saying that only repeated value we should be having in our variables, I would say that all the colors which you are using, they should be in your variables, so that we know that what all color palette we are using. And also it is going to help you in doing the theme changes, or if tomorrow some change will come, you can manage it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mention, oh, I wrote wrong code here, and I will write a secondary color, which is this one. And now I can just go and change all these values. So what I will do is I can just say, this was black, I guess, black. This is your secondary, this is your white, this is also white, and so on. So now what we have done is, now if you will look at your root, you know all these color values, font size and font family is getting used in your code. Very easy to see the summary of your code, as well as very easy to maintain, because now you have everything at one place. You can just do changes. Now for example, instead of this color, I want, for example, this color of my primary color. My primary color got changed. So now you can see my header and button, where these values were coming, those got replaced. I just change at one place rather than doing find, replace, confirming and all that. You have at one place and you can just do it. Optimization is definitely there, because now no longer you are just repeating the color values, font families and everything. You know that which value to be used, so you are not end up with multiple value of the same color. So optimization is definitely there. Now we will see the next thing, which is local variable. So for example, instead of header, let's talk about the footer. Yeah, let's go here, and in header what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say background theme, and I'm gonna say that the color what I want is I will declare a new variable here. I will say red. Okay, now this is a local variable to header. Now if I try to use it here in the footer, I will write it like this. Now if we will go back to our browser, you will see our footer is not converting to red. So let's inspect and see if our code is getting implemented. Footer, and you can see that this is not getting implemented. Even if I will just disable, because right now it is showing it is getting overridden. If you doesn't know about overriding and all, I have already made a video on DevTools and CSS debugging. I will leave the link in the description section, so you can check that. But however, if we will still remove this, you can see that this color is not coming. if I will go and do red, you can see this is working, but however it is not coming from here. Why? The reason is because this variable background theme is locally scoped to header. It has no access outside it. That's why in the footer it is not getting implemented. But with that, what we can do is we can also provide the fallback properties. So if you want to provide a fallback property, you can do that also. So what I will do is I will say orange. Let me refresh this and let me just comment this out, and you can see now this is coming. One thing I will be doing is, let me just comment this out. So now you can see your fallback color is coming. So what we have done is we learned about the local variables, and we also learned about the scope of the fallback of the variables. Okay, so this is done. Now the third and I would say the last part is your variables are dynamic, which means is that even you have declared O at the root, but any changes happening in your view root, these variables will get updated. Example, let's assume that we have let's see, where is our body. So we have body, secondary color is coming here, which is this one. Now what we want is, our requirement is that when we are going to the desktop, the background color should change. Let's assume that. So I am gonna write desktop background theme, and I would say red. And wait, let me pick a better color instead of red. Okay, so this is the color I'm gonna pick. And now what we are gonna do is we are gonna go in our media query. So this is my media query for desktop, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say body background, and I'm gonna pass my variable desktop background theme. Okay, now you can see that it is working. Now let's go to the mobile view. So let me just, and you can see the moment my mobile view is coming or desktop, my particular variable is getting in action. So in this respective, the variables are dynamic, and these are very helpful because when you are working with responsive or you are working with themes, these variables are gonna help you and support you in changing the color values or any calculation you are doing, like width, height, margin, anything. All these things, this variable is gonna help you a lot to maintain this. Okay, so this is how you use variable in your code. Now one more thing I wanted to show you is how in DevTool it looks like. So if you will go to your DevTools, at the bottom you will see all the variables you have declared are coming here. You can edit them, you can disable them, you are free to definitely change the value from here. You can do whatever you want to do it from here. So this is how you use the CSS variables. I hope this video was helpful. If yes, please share in your network. Thank you so much for watching.